Assalamu alaikum. By the end of this video, you will be able to understand important properties of real numbers with respect to addition and multiplication. Difficult words are translated in Arabic for your better understanding. You can pause the video and you can read it again. And you will be able to solve problems based on properties of real numbers. I hope you know the classification of real numbers. If not, watch the video Classification of Real Numbers with Arabic Translation. It is well explained. Link is available in the below description box. Watch this video till end with concentration. I am sure you will become perfect in the properties of real numbers. Let's begin. Properties of real numbers, they are closure property, commutative property, associative property, distributive property, identity property, inverse property, and property of zero. Let's look each property one by one in detail. Very first is closure property. Closure property of addition. It states that if A and B are real numbers, A and B are two numbers, real numbers. Real numbers means you can see the translation of real numbers over here. Then A plus B is also a real number. This is the statement of the closure property of addition. A and B are the real numbers. Then sum of the two numbers A plus B is also a real number. Let's see this with an example. We know 6 and 7 are the real numbers. What is this? This is called belongs to. You can see with Arabic translation here, belongs to. So this, if A here 6 and 7 belongs to a real number. Then 6 plus 7, 13. This is also a real number. Right? This is the closure property. You know this one. Just we are learning today the name of the property. Another example. 2 and 4.5 is a real number. Then 2 plus 4.5, sum of these two numbers is also a real number. 6.5 is also a real number. This is about closure property of addition and closure property of multiplication. It states that if A and B are real numbers, see it is with multiplication, so it says that then A multiply B, A times B is also a real number. Example, 2 and 9, these are the two real numbers. Then 2 times 9 is equal to 18, which is also a real number. Right? I hope you are understanding. See one more example for the closure property of multiplication. 3 and 2 by 9, these are the two real numbers. Then 3 times 2 by 9 is also a real number, right? Which is 2 by 3 is a real number. So here you can see, in short we can call it as sum or product. Sum or product of any two real numbers is also a real number. This is the closure property. Sum or product of any two real numbers is also a real number. This is about the closure property. I hope it's clear for you. Let's we move to the next one. Commutative property. Commutative property of addition. It states that if A and B are real numbers, you can see the Arabic translation here, then a plus b equal to b plus a. It means that if you change the order of adding, it will not change the result. A plus b is same as b plus a. Let me see with an example. 7 and 5 are the real numbers. Then 7 plus 5 is same as 5 plus 7. Right? See here, 7 plus 5 is 12, which is same as 5 plus 7, which is also 12. Another example, 9 plus 15. These are the two real numbers. So 9 plus 15, change the order. 15 plus 9, both are same. Order of adding. So 9 plus 15 or 15 plus 9 is same. What is the 9 plus 15? 9 plus 15 is 24 and 15 plus 9 is also 24. This is about the commutative property. This is the commutative property. 9 plus 15 equal to 15 plus 9. So next, commutative property of multiplication. It states that if a and b are real numbers, then a times b equal to b times a. Let me see this also with an example. 11 and 4 are real numbers. Then 11 times 4 is same as 4 times 11. Change of order of multiplying is same. 11 times 4 is 44. 4 times 11 is also 44. I hope you are understanding, right? 4 into 11 is also 44. Another example, 8 times 4 is same as 4 times 8. What we are doing, just we are changing the order, right? 8 times 4 is same as 4 times 8. Okay, see here, 8 times 4 is 32. Similarly, 4 times 8 is also 32. One more example with a variable y. 6 times y is same as y times 6. So in short, we can call it as changing the order of adding or multiplying will not change the result. Changing the order of adding or multiplying will not change the result. This is the commutative property. Right? So let me see the another property now. Associative property. Associative property of addition. It states that if A, B and C, three real numbers, then sum of the three numbers, here the grouping A plus B plus C is same as A plus B plus C. Here we are changing the order of grouping. Either you add first AB or you add first B and C, then the result to the A. The answer is same as first adding A and B, then the result if you add with C, the same thing. This is about the associative property. So let me see with an example. 2, 3 and 5. Here 2, 3 and 5 are the real numbers. So when we add, so here the group, first I made the group of 2, 3, then add 5 is same as first you make the group of 3 and 5. Okay, see the result, 2, 3, 2 plus 3 is how much? 5, then this is 5. So 5 plus 5 is 10. Similarly, here first we add 3 and 5. So what I will get here? 3 plus 5 is 8, 2 is same. So 2 plus 8, which is also equal to 10. So here the grouping of sum, it doesn't change the result. Another example, sum of the numbers 7 and 4.5 plus 0.6 is same as sum of the numbers 7 plus 0.4 and 0.6. So what we get here, 7 plus 0.4 is 7.4 and this is 0.6 and sum of these two numbers is 8, right? This is 8. So see the second one, just we are changing here grouping of the numbers. 7 plus, here the group 0.4 and 0.6 is the group here. So first we add this group, we get the answer 1. 7 plus 1 is also 8. So either you make the first two number group or the second two numbers group, the result remains same. This is about the associative property of addition. Let me see associative property of multiplication. It states that if A, B and C are three real numbers, then A times B times C equal to A times B times C. Same thing here, just grouping of the numbers. Change the grouping of the numbers. For multiplication will not change the result. This is about the associative property of multiplication. Let me see with an example. 3 times 6 times 2 is same as 3 times 6 times 2. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 6 is 18 and times 2. 18 times 2 is 36. Now here right side 3 is same. 6 times 2 is 12. 3 times 12 is 36. So this is about the associative. Change of grouping will not change the result. Here we are changing the grouping of multiplication. For multiplication it will not change the result. Here the numbers are 3, 6 and 2 are the real numbers. Here 5 times 7 by 15 times 30 is same as 5 times the other two numbers are 7 by 15 times 30. So first you multiply the last two numbers or the first two numbers, it will not change the result. See here the result, let me see. What is the result here? The first one here, the result is you will get 7 by 3 and this is 30. 7 by 3 times 30 is equal to 70. Right? So here the second one 5 same, the result of this group of two numbers is 14. 7 by 15 into 30 is 14 and 5 times 14 is also 70. This is about the associative property of multiplication. So we can write it in short as, for understanding, changing the grouping of adding or multiplying will not change the result. Is it clear? Changing the grouping of adding or multiplying will not change the result. This is the associative property. Let's we move to the next one. I hope it's clear for you. The next one is distributive property. It states that if A and B and C are three real numbers, then A times B plus C is equal to A times B plus A times C. It means that A multiplies with B and A multiplies with C. AB plus AC. This is the distributive property. We use this property to remove the parenthesis to simplify. So to remove this parenthesis, to remove this bracket, we use this property, distributive property. Example, simplify 5 times x minus 2. Here we have to multiply 5 with x and 5 with minus 2. So to remove this parenthesis, so what we do here, 5x, 5 multiply minus 2 is equal to minus 10. 5x minus 10. These two are same. These two are same. It is said by distributive property. Distributive property. Another example, simplify minus 3x times 2y plus 4. Here we can multiply 3 minus 3x times 2y and minus 3x times 4 to remove this parenthesis. Let me see the simplification. Minus 3x times 2y is equal to minus 6xy and minus 3x times 4 is equal to minus 12x. This is about the distributive property. I hope you understood. Let's move to the next one, that is identity property. Identity property of addition. It states that for any real number a plus 0 is a, means sum, if you add 0 to any number, the sum is same, the answer remains same, the result remains same. Either you add a plus 0 or 0 plus a, the answer is same. That is, here we call this 0 as the additive identity. This 0 is called additive identity. Is it clear? So an example, 7 plus 0, this 0 is the additive identity. This 0 is the additive identity. If you add 0 to any number, example 0 plus 7 is 7. So the 0 is called the additive identity. Similarly, identity property of multiplication. Here, for any real number a, if you multiply 1, means a times 1 is equal to a, or you multiply 1 then a, means 1 times a is also a. So multiplying 1 will not change the result. This is the identity property of multiplication. This one is called the multiplicative identity. So multiplicative identity is 1. Example, 1 times 8 is 8. So this one is the multiplicative identity. So here, as adding 0 will not change the result, therefore 0 is called additive identity, and multiplying 1 doesn't change the result, therefore 1 is called multiplicative identity. Right? I hope it's clear for you. Let's move to the next property. Next is inverse property. Inverse property of addition. It states that if a is a real number and if you add negative of that number, sum of the number a and its negative is always 0. This is the inverse property of addition. So here the additive inverse is minus a. Minus a is called the additive inverse. Example, 7 and negative of its number minus 7 is equal to 0. So here minus 7 is called the additive inverse. Minus 7 is called the additive inverse. Now inverse property of multiplication. It states that for any real number a which is not equal to 0, then a times 1 by a times 1 by a is always a. So reciprocal, multiplication of its reciprocal is 1. This is the inverse property of multiplication. So here 1 by a is called the multiplicative inverse. 1 by a is the multiplicative inverse. So example, 5 times its reciprocal, that is 1 by 5. So 5 times 1 by 5 is equal to 1. So this 1 by 5 is called the multiplicative inverse. I hope it's clear for you. This is about the inverse property. Okay, so let's move to the next one, that is property of 0. Do you know what happens when you multiply a number with 0? And what about dividing by 0? Let me see this in the properties of 0. First, multiplication by 0. For any real number a, if you multiply a times 0 is 0, and also 0 times a is 0. This is the multiplication by 0. Very simple, right? You know already this one. This is the name of this property is property of 0. Example, 3 times 0 is 0. Finished. This is the multiplication by 0. Any number, 7 into 0 is 0. Or you write 0 times maybe 9, which is also 0. This is the multiplication by 0. Next one is division with 0. For any real number a not equal to 0, 0 by a is also 0. 0 by a is also 0. But just here see, and a by 0, here the students will get confused. 0 by a equal to 0, but a by 0 is not defined. Still it is not defined. In mathematics we write it as just not defined. A by 0 is not defined. Example, 0 by 8, which is equal to 0, but 7 by 0 is not defined. This was about the properties of 0, properties of real numbers. All the 7 properties today we learned, and I hope it's clear for you. Let me see in a nutshell all the 7 properties. Wherever you want, just pause the video and you can go through it. I will go a little fast here. Closure property, commutative property, associative property, identity property, inverse property, property of 0, and distributive property. These 7 properties we learned today. Let's we end this video by doing an activity. Very first one is a question, rewrite using commutative property. This type of questions you can expect in exam from the properties of 0. So here the question is rewrite using commutative property. So rewrite 9 plus 6 can be written as, if you rewrite it, you can write 6 plus 9. Okay. Similarly, 5 times minus 5 can be written as minus 5 times m. Okay. And the C, 2 plus 3. Okay. 2 plus 3 times 6 plus 4. Here the question is to rewrite using commutative property. Okay. So here we will change the order of multiplying. So what I will get here? 6 plus 4, we will write the first thing, we will write 6 plus 4 and 2 plus 3. Change the order of multiplying. Okay, change the order of multiplying, which is 2 plus 3. And the last one, 3 plus 1 plus 4. Change the order of adding. So what I write? We can write first 1 plus 4. Okay, then 3. Then we can write the 3 plus 3. Is it clear? Another question, rewrite using associative property. Rewrite using associative property means here you have to change the grouping. Okay, grouping of the numbers 12, 15, 6. Change the group. 15 multiply 6. So here 12 times 15 multiply 6. This is about the associative property. Here also change the group of the addition of numbers. 32 plus 19 plus 17. I am changing the grouping of the numbers for addition. 19 plus 17. Is it clear? Okay. Now 5 times 6x. This can be written as 5 times 6. We are changing the multiplying grouping of the numbers in the multiplication. 5 times 6, then x. This is about the associative property. The next is Recognize the identity property of addition or multiplication. Here, first one is 1 times 9 equal to 9. Here it is getting multiply, right? Multiplying. So this is the identity property of multiplication. So these are the expected questions, please. So next one is 7 plus 0. Here addition, 7 plus 0. So this is the identity property of addition, right? So the next one is the next question, which is 4. Find the additive and multiplicative inverse of the numbers. Two numbers are given. So one by one, let's we find. For the first one, 9. For the first number, 9. So only 9 is here. So we need to find the additive inverse and multiplicative inverse. For the 9, additive inverse of 9 is, so you have to take the negative of the number. Negative of the number 9, which is minus 9. This is the additive inverse of 9. And multiplicative inverse of 9 is the reciprocal of the 9. Reciprocal of the 9 is 1 by 9. Is it clear? Okay. So for the 9, multiplicative inverse is 1 by 9 and additive inverse is minus 9. Similarly, for the B, for the number minus 3 by 2, additive inverse of minus 3 by 2 is, you have to change the sign. Minus sign becomes the plus sign, negative of the number. So minus 3 by 2, it becomes plus 3 by 2. Negative of the number, negative of negative, it becomes the positive. So minus 3 by 2 is 3 by 2. And multiplicative inverse of minus 3 by 2. For this, you have to do the reciprocal. So here minus 3 by 2, it becomes minus 2 by 3. Minus sign remains same in the multiplication. So minus 2 by 3. So this was about the additive and multiplicative inverse. So one more question, last question. See here, simplify using property of 0. So 13 times 0 is how much? 13 times 0 is 0, you are right. 0 times minus 7, whether it's a negative, positive, whatever number, 0 times minus 7 is 0. And 0 divides 5, 0 by 5, 0 by 5, 0 by 5 is 0. But minus 3 by 0, minus 3 by 0 is not defined. This was about the property of 0. So we did activity, we learned the properties today. So this is, we have finished today. We have finished all the properties. So this was about the properties of real numbers.